What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. Let's dive into our first news. The MMA community wasted no time reacting after Andrew Tate suffered a surprising loss in his latest boxing match, and the criticism was both swift and brutal. Tate was defeated by Chase Dior via majority decision in a result that shocked many fans and fighters alike. Entering the bout, Tate was widely expected to dominate, given his background as a former kickboxing world champion and the fact that his opponent was largely known as a TikTok influencer rather than an established combat sports athlete. Despite the pre-fight hype and confidence surrounding Tate, the bout unfolded very differently. As the fight progressed into the later rounds, Tate visibly fatigued, struggling to maintain pace and effectiveness. Dior capitalized on this, staying composed and active enough to secure the decision victory. The loss immediately sparked intense debate online, especially considering Tate's long history of bold claims about his fighting ability and dominance. Several prominent figures from the MMA world openly mocked Tate's performance. UFC middleweight Sean Strickland was among the most outspoken, bluntly stating that he had warned people beforehand and dismissing Tate's championship credentials as meaningless. Strickland suggested that the fight exposed Tate and undermined the image he has built online. Chase Dior quickly fired back at Strickland's comments, aggressively defending himself and warning Strickland to watch his mouth. The exchange only added fuel to the growing online spectacle surrounding the fight. Former UFC middleweight champion Michael Bisping also weighed in, labeling the performance hilarious bad, while UFC bantamweight Vince Morales expressed disbelief at the reaction from some fans. Morales pointed out that despite the loss, many were still praising Tate and making excuses, calling the response strange and unjustified. Perhaps the most cutting reaction came from Darren Till, who reportedly walked out of the event while it was still live. Till later posted a video harshly criticizing the fight, claiming that watching it was so poor it felt like he was unlearning boxing. He went on to say that the matchup disrespected everything he believes in as a strike and questioned how fighters of that level could call out elite professionals. In the end, Tate's loss did more than just shock fans. It ignited a full-scale roasting from the MMA community, turning the event into one of the most talked about combat sports moments of the night. Do you like this personality? Before we jump into the next story, we have a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon. It really helps us out and ensures you'll never miss an update. Moving on to another news. Rare sparring footage has surfaced featuring Islam Makhachev and Usman Nurmagomedov, offering fans a fascinating look behind the scenes at two of the most elite fighters to emerge from Dagestan. While the chances of ever seeing these two competitors face each other inside the cage are virtually non-existent due to their close friendship and shared training environment, the newly released footage shows them exchanging strikes during an intense sparring session. The video was filmed ahead of Islam Makhachev's championship victory at UFC 322 and highlights the high-level skill set possessed by both men. As longtime teammates and close friends, Makhachev and Nurmagomedov have spent years sharpening each other's abilities at American Kickboxing Academy and under the guidance of their coaching team. The sparring footage reflects controlled aggression, technical precision, and mutual respect, emphasizing why both fighters are considered among the best in the world. Despite their competitive nature, there has never been any serious discussion about them fighting one another professionally. Both fighters have consistently stated that loyalty and brotherhood come before money or titles. As a result, sparring sessions like this provide the closest glimpse fans will ever get to seeing them go head-to-head. At the time of this video's release, Islam Makhachev's next opponent has not yet been officially announced. Now reigning as the UFC welterweight champion, Makhachev has already set his sights on a high-profile challenge, publicly calling for a fight against former welterweight champion Kamaru Usman. A matchup between the two would represent one of the most anticipated clashes in the division, pitting Makhachev's elite grappling involving striking against Usman's physicality, experience, and championship pedigree. Meanwhile, Usman Nurmagomedov continues to build his own legacy outside the UFC. The undefeated PFL lightweight champion is preparing to defend his title against Alfie Davis, a fight that could further solidify his status as one of the top lightweights competing today. Nurmagomedov has shown steady improvement in every outing, combining dominant wrestling with increasingly confident striking. The emergence of this sparring footage not only excites fans but also reinforces the depth of talent within the Dagestani camp. It serves as a reminder that behind every championship performance lies countless rounds of elite-level training between world-class athletes pushing one another to greatness. Moving on to another news. Following his high-profile fight with former heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul revealed some concerning news about his health. While Paul surprised many with his performance and earned a substantial payday more money in a single night than most families see in generations, the bout left him physically battered. The YouTuber-turned-boxer managed to last 5 rounds against Joshua, demonstrating durability that exceeded many expectations. However, in the 6th round, Joshua landed a devastating right hook that ultimately ended the fight. Immediately after the bout, Paul suspected his jaw had been broken, and subsequent reports confirmed it had fractured in 2 places. Sharing the news with his fans on Instagram, Paul posted an X-ray of his jaw and detailed his recovery process. He revealed that surgery went well. 2 titanium plates were inserted on each side. Some teeth were removed, and he would be restricted to a liquid diet for 7 days. Despite the injury, Paul remained focused on future plans, calling out Canelo Alvarez for a potential matchup. The fight drew reactions from across the boxing and MMA worlds. UFC legend Anderson Silva, who previously faced Paul in the ring, praised the influencer's growth as a fighter, emphasizing that Paul deserves respect for his dedication and improvement. Silva noted that every fighter stepping into the ring deserves recognition for their efforts, regardless of their background. Meanwhile, former UFC champion Conor McGregor also acknowledged Paul's performance on social media, commending his effort. Despite Paul's strong showing, Anthony Joshua faced criticism online for not finishing the fight sooner. Many expected Paul to be knocked out early, and Joshua's cautious approach led some observers to question whether nerves or strategy played a role. Former UFC fighter Brendan Shaw highlighted Paul's impact on boxing, pointing out that regardless of opinions about his skills, Paul has done more to bring attention to the sport over the past decade than almost anyone else. Looking ahead, Paul remains committed to boxing, but experts like Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson advise a more traditional trajectory for the young fighter. Johnson emphasized the importance of improving conditioning technique, speed, and agility while continuing to challenge skilled boxers rather than influencers. The key for Paul's future, according to experts, is to continue facing credible opponents to refine his craft and solidify his legacy in the sport. Moving on to another news. New details have emerged regarding Ilia Topuria and Georgina Uskatagi, shedding light on the increasingly complicated personal situation surrounding the UFC champion. It has now been confirmed that Topuria will not be defending his title in the near future, and reports indicate that his ongoing hiatus from the octagon is connected to personal matters, specifically his separation from Uskatagi. While Topuria previously acknowledged that personal issues were behind his break from fighting, this situation appears to be far more contentious than initially reported. According to recent reports, after Topuria filed a civil separation lawsuit, Uskatagi allegedly threatened to release damaging evidence related to domestic matters unless certain financial demands were met. Topuria, in a public statement, said he has been subjected to severe and unacceptable pressure, including threats to disseminate false allegations of domestic abuse unless financial demands were met. The champion firmly denies any wrongdoing, emphasizing that the claims against him are unfounded. Martha Corbel of El Mundo has continued to cover the developing story. A summary of her reporting highlights several key points. Both Topuria and Uskatagi had a prenuptial agreement prior to their marriage. Georgina currently resides in the family home with their daughter, as she has no other residence in Spain and maintains strong family connections in the United States and Venezuela, and Topuria's life has been under continuous filming for the past 2.5 years as part of a documentary, providing recorded evidence that he says proves his innocence against the abuse allegation. Despite ongoing discussions, the two parties have yet to reach an agreement regarding financial settlements. Sources close to Topuria maintain that there is no extortion involved, framing the negotiation as a typical divorce in which both sides are attempting to agree on economic terms. However, without resolution, some perceive the demands as coercive, further complicating the matter. Given the current state of affairs, it appears unlikely that the situation will de-escalate quickly. This ongoing personal and legal turmoil could significantly delay Topuria's return to the UFC octagon, leaving fans waiting to see when the talented champion will compete again. For now, the focus remains on the resolution of these private matters, as the stakes extend well beyond the cage. Moving on to another news. Tom Aspinall recently shared his candid thoughts on Jake Paul's fight against Anthony Joshua, making it clear that he was far from impressed with the bout. The UFC heavyweight, known for his straightforward assessments, described the fight as underwhelming and largely predictable, reflecting his perspective as a professional combat sports athlete. When asked if he would like to see a similar matchup in the future, Aspinall responded honestly, stating that it wasn't particularly entertaining for him. It wasn't much fun, he admitted. It was alright, but pretty much exactly what I expected to happen. Aspinall explained that he had no illusions about Jake Paul attempting to stand toe-to-toe with a decorated former heavyweight champion like Anthony Joshua. Such a strategy, he noted, would have been suicide given the experience and punching power difference between the two fighters. Instead, Paul opted to rely on his movement and boxing fundamentals, attempting to stay on the outside, maintain distance, and avoid engaging in extended exchanges with Joshua. Aspinall described this as a sensible tactical approach for Paul, but he also pointed out the inherent limitations of such a strategy. You can't do that all night, he observed. Eventually, a fighter has to take some risks and trade shots, especially in the later rounds when movement alone becomes insufficient to secure points or survival. Aspinall noted that when Paul did commit to exchanges, he ultimately paid the price. The outcome, a knockout loss, was, in Aspinall's view, the natural conclusion to a fight between a skilled professional like Joshua and a less experienced opponent. At some point, you're gonna have to trade a little bit, Aspinall said, and that's what happened. happened. He got knocked out. Overall, Aspinall's analysis reflects the perspective of a seasoned fighter, prioritizes technical skill, strategy, and realism over hype and spectacle, while acknowledging Paul's efforts and determination. He made it clear that from a professional standpoint, the fight offered little excitement or innovation. His commentary underscores the gap between celebrity-driven matchups and high-level professional boxing and served as a reminder of the challenges that social media stars face when stepping into the ring against elite athletes. Moving on to another news. Recently, tensions flared online between UFC fighters Ilia Topuria and Arman Tsarukyan after Tsarukyan appeared to mock Topuria on social media. The exchange began when Tsarukyan posted a comment referencing Topuria, indirectly prompting fans and other users to engage in the thread. One user asked about El Pato, a nickname for Topuria, to which Tsarukyan responded with a dismissive remark, claiming he was busy with his ex today. Topuria, known for his fierce competitiveness and straightforward personality, did not let the comment go unanswered. In response, he told Tsarukyan to go himself, using pointed humor and sharp criticism to address the situation. Topuria emphasized that while Tsarukyan is a talented fighter, he missed opportunities to prove himself in the cage. Arman is a good fighter. He had his chances, but he refused to compete, Topuria said. He went on to highlight the realities faced by professional fighters, noting that all athletes experience pain, whether it be arm injuries, leg injuries, or other challenges, yet they continue to show up and perform. Topuria's remarks also contained a mix of humor and ridicule aimed at Tsarukyan's decision-making. Maybe he needs to change his underwear after making that decision, Topuria quipped, using the comment to underscore what he saw as a lack of commitment or courage. He concluded his statement by reiterating his direct message to Tsarukyan, "From here, you can go yourself." The exchange has since generated significant attention from fans and the MMA community, with many praising Topuria for standing his ground and defending his reputation. Even other fighters, including Sean Strickland, have weighed in, further amplifying the conversation online. This episode reflects not only the personal rivalries that can emerge in the world of mixed martial arts, but also the intensity with which fighters defend their professional credibility. For Topuria, the incident serves as a reminder that in MMA, respect is earned through action in the cage, and any attempt to undermine that is likely to be met with a swift and uncompromising response. The online spat may continue to simmer, but Topuria has made it clear that he will not be intimidated or provoked by offhand comments from fellow fighters. Moving on to another news. Following Andrew Tate's high-profile loss in the boxing ring, Sean Strickland did not hold back in his criticism. Posting on social media platform X, Strickland bluntly slammed Tate, stating, "Told you all Andrew Tate was a bitch. Iska champion means nothing. At least he's exposed now." The comments quickly gained attention across the MMA and boxing community, sparking reactions from fighters, fans, and media alike. Tate's opponent, Chase Dior, responded to Strickland's remarks with equal intensity. He took to social media to defend himself and his victory, writing, "I would batter you, you racist prick. Watch your mouth." The exchange highlighted the heightened emotions surrounding Tate's defeat and underscored the competitive nature of combat sports, where pride and reputation are often on the line. Earlier, Andrew Tate himself addressed his loss in a reflective statement on 10th. He acknowledged the realities of aging and time away from professional competition, admitting that he had been out of the fighting scene for too long. "In my heart, I knew I'm too old," Tate wrote. "I knew I had been out too long. That's why I had to do it to face fear. I can't live scared. I have to know I faced it. I lost fair and square. Chase is a true champion, a warrior. I'm proud of him. He deserves that belt." Tate also candidly admitted that he would likely not be ready for a fight against Jake Paul, stating, "I'm not ready for Jake. Time is the fire in which we all burn. Fighting is for young men." His comments demonstrated a level of humility and self-awareness, acknowledging the physical and mental demands of professional fighting. Meanwhile, Tate's brother, Tristan, weighed in on the situation, providing a supportive perspective. He noted that his brother is no longer the same man he was 10 years ago, acknowledging the challenges of age and time away from the sport. "I respect him a lot for getting in there and trying," Tristan said. "I love him, and I support anything he wants to do in the future." The combination of Strickland's harsh critique, Dior's fiery response, and Tate's own reflection provides a full picture of the aftermath of the fight. It underscores the intense scrutiny fighters face, both from competitors and fans, while also highlighting the personal courage it takes to step into the ring and face one's fears, regardless of the outcome.